What happened in 1925? Well, according to history, this was the time around where World War I ended, and specifically in Japan, they were thriving for a while. The war brought great prosperity to them, allowing its industry to trade and experience global success. And I don't know, but when mentioning war, industrialization, trade, one other thing came up to my mind, and that is capitalism. So, on today's song analysis, we're gonna talk about 1925 by Teapot Kid. Just to put the disclaimer, this video was not meant to attack a certain group of people, country, race, or political beliefs. Personally, I'm a firm believer that 99.9999% of people in power are just evil, and every government has its own including my own country. So I'm gonna be talking about someone else's song, and I think it might count as derivative work, I don't know. So I will try my best to refrain from saying any of my personal political views. Why I brought up war and capitalism in the first place is because in 1925, Japan releases the Peace Preservation Law. And I don't know if this song is about this specifically or not, but it seems fitting because to sum it up, the law basically bans people from having any anti-capitalistic ideas, which this law will serve as like a foundation to control people. And it would just grow more and more oppressive throughout the years. One of the most important clause of it says, anyone who forms or knowingly participates in groups whose goal is to deny the system of private property, basically capitalism, or to change our national essence shall be sentenced to prison or penal servitude of up to 10 years. Anyone who attempts to commit this crime will also be punished. As I always said, every song is free for interpretation, but to me personally, I think this song talks about the transition phase of Japan, where they turn into more and more industrial, capitalistic country, which a lot of it are fueled by their imperialistic tendencies at the time. I think this is also hinted in the cover art, where there's like two sides, and the other side is like very industrial, full of buildings and like factories, while the other side is like flower, nature, culture. I don't know what it represents, but I'm pretty sure it's two very contradictory things. Now remember what I said in the beginning of the video, how World War I brought prosperity to Japan at first? The rise of capitalism is not entirely because of that. There's like an era called Meiji Restoration, which played a huge role in Japan's industrial revolution, but basically around these times, capitalism is proven to work to bring up the economy. As you can see from the lyrics that says, innocent motion, tension breaking free. It works surprisingly well. Which means, yeah, at first, the whole thing works. The economy grows exponentially. It works surprisingly really well. Really well. Until it doesn't. Because capitalist economy incentivize growth, they create massive demand for creating things in the cheapest way possible, basically maximizing profit, right? This will definitely affect the nature, the climate, and we're not even touching the topic of inequality, because in capitalism, the profit is definitely reserved for the top of the top, and the top 1% is definitely the one who gets bigger and bigger share each and every time. So yeah, in the long run, it could be seen as destructive. Which is why in the second verse they say, I let slip the tiniest glimpse of my true character. It's unfair, and it's not cute at all. In that case, I'll try this, peeling back the skin of my true self. It stings, and it's shameful. This probably talks about how the people started to realize that, hey, we don't like it. It doesn't work. It makes you rich, but it makes us poor. And you know, I have another idea. Why don't we share the stuff? And you know, regulate them together as a community. Then we can all have better living qualities. But then the Japanese government was like, nope. Hence why the 1925 Peace Preservation Law was created. Now please, I'm not a history expert, and I'm trying to oversimplify all the events for the sake of giving context to the song, so yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, this whole thing makes more sense after you read the lyrics that says, the question is repeated, but there's no point in answering. I hate it, don't restrain me. It seems like the execution of this law was very oppressive, because they're not just targeting groups who made anti-capitalist capitalistic ideas, but the law also literally says anyone that is even intending to join or to even just discuss anti-capitalistic things can be and should be punished. So it's becoming more of a fear-mongering game, and I'm very familiar with this as it also happens in the history of my own country. Accusations being thrown around, as it also says in the lyric where they said, spot the difference in this matching pair. This one and that one and the other one. Which one? This kind of thing of like being able to point out who did what is very oppressive, and it's just tearing people apart, because this type of law enforcement can literally like point people who are suspicious. It's just really dangerous, and no one will dare to say anything. In the chorus they said, there's nothing money can buy. In other words, you can sell anything if you just put a price tag on. There's no honor or virtue in profit and loss. There seems to be a wordplay here. According to the translations I use from Procoloid Lyrics Wiki, the English translation is by Blue Penguin. They said sontoku normally is written with characters meaning profit and loss, characters meaning honor and virtue. But essentially, I think it's trying to say that even now, 100 years later, like it's literally 2023, money is still everything. Like there's nothing, almost nothing that money cannot buy. You can buy pride, you can buy friends, you can buy love now, or at least something that is similar enough. You can't even buy law. Like sure, money can't buy happiness, but like we cannot deny that a lot of things in this world needs money, which is fascinating because this just reminds us how money is literally one of the most successful fiction ever created by humans. I read this from a book by Yuval Noah Harari. I forgot which one, but basically they're saying that money is fictional reality, because if you 12,000 years back try to buy like one banana with like $100, no one will want that. They do not care if that is like a US dollar or anything, because back then people used to trade to exchange goods. Basically, if you want a banana, you have to trade it with like apple. Both are fruits, we can eat them. But money is basically just a piece of paper. The only reason why now we can buy like a bunch of bananas with $100 bill is because we believe that that piece of paper is worth as much as a lot of bananas. We as a society are the ones who believe that we can use it as a tool for exchange. It starts from like coins to like a piece of paper with a series of numbers, and then there are currencies, and then now most of us even use like money digitally. But yeah, throughout the years, the value of money just grows more and more and more, to the point it's just so powerful, it can buy almost everything you've ever wanted, which is why it's so tempting, which is also why all the problem in this world, like climate change, world hunger, colonization, all these things starts because we as humans has a thing called greed. It is kind of shameful to admit that as humans in nature, we always want more. I used to have like less than 1k subscriber, but now that I have 4k, I want more. I want 10k, and I want to reach 100k one day. So please subscribe. But that's just like us regular people, right? It really gets crazy once you imagine other people with like bigger power and bigger responsibilities, because the things they're capable to do are out of this world. Imagine like there's someone in this world who is in charge of making the decision to either give $4 billion worth of military aid to a certain country so they could go to war, or just solve world hunger, or I don't know, maybe do something in their own country that helps their own people. It's just so bizarre. But that's also the point. The song kind of depicts how we just can't stop. There's a lyric that says, in the pouring rain, I throw away the anchor that should stop me. Life is a cruise called regret. If I put out obstacles, morals and laws of the heart, there's a way around even to the highest walls. I think this just explains the lengths humans would go to satisfy their greed. Like even if we try to reason with morals, even if we try to touch the humanity in people's hearts, no matter what, even if in your way there's like the highest walls in the world, turn around, look for another way. There's gotta be a way. Like humans can't fly, but they invented planes. Humans can't cross the seas, but they made ships. Humans can't dive, they made submarines. We literally could like just go through any obstacles for the better or worse. And like in this part of the music video, they say there's a way around even the highest walls, so you can say hey, hello. In the lyrics it says konnichiwa, but in the music video, the hello is translated into many languages such as Chinese, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, Indonesian, like a lot of language. And I don't know if this is intentional or not, but a lot of the countries listed there are like the countries that have been colonized by Japan previously, including my own. But yeah, basically they're saying that no matter how big the obstacle is, humans have like the history of finding ways to get what they want. And yeah, since they want power, you cannot stop colonization. You cannot stop war. You cannot stop imperialism. You just cannot stop the fact that they just want more, which is then perfectly concluded with this part that says, if you ask me what love is, I'll answer me. This is also another wordplay, but instead of like double meaning in Japanese, they say ai to wa nanzo to towarereba. Ai to wa. Basically for the word love, they use ai, but like in English, ai is also similar with the pronunciation of like me. I. But yeah, basically they're saying, if you ask me what love is, it's me, because in the end of the day, we're all humans and we have egos. Even if you're doing things that seems selfless, like for example, you're feeding your starving family, but in order to do that, you take what belongs to others. That's still selfish, right? That's still about you. It's about your family. It's about your people. It's about your country. That's still about you. Or my family, my people, my country, my, me, mine. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's something that is unavoidable, but also the last sentence of the song says, just because diamonds don't crack doesn't mean I need any. Basically saying that, yeah, we naturally want more things, but just because there's good things doesn't mean we need that. Just because others have good things doesn't mean we have to own it. So yeah, what do you think about the song? Me personally, I think reflecting about this song while at this very moment there's a genocide happening, it just made me think, like, why? It feels like I really wanted to find out what was the reason. But then after doing my research, finding out about things like where the funds of wars came from, what was it for, from who, where do you buy the military aid, who supports who and why, who profits from this, like who in the future benefits from this, who in the future will get the most power, the most authority, the most resources. And somehow it all leads up to, again, power, money. I literally don't know what to say. I really want to recommend this video that talks about connection between war and capitalism, which is explained very thoroughly by Non-Compete. As they say, and I quote, imperialists' power around the world are seeking to assert their dominance, while capitalists seek to expand their fortunes through the world's biggest industry, and that is war. That's all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.